I want to thank all the Berliners for their solidarity, because this really was terrible. This is gentrification. We were kicked out of the last venue, which was really essential for the whole program. It was part of the concept, and we've been working on this for so long, Lidudo and I. And it was just something that came as a shock. More than anything, I'm therefore very, very thankful that you came, that it didn't bother you, nobody complained. You just came, and you were an amazing audience. You attended everything, you cheered the writers on that actually came from the other side of the globe. All the volunteers, nobody ever said, okay, no, I'm not working now 12 hours a day. 5 o'clock in the morning they started. And they made this happen, and I want you to cheer for the 70 people that actually worked their asses off. And now I want you to just welcome the person that became my closest partner in the last couple of months. It is a very intense time of working together, because we work across continents, time zones, culture, language barriers. We have other jobs, and we do this in our free time very often. Sometimes there's no electricity, so we really... Yeah, load shedding. Thank you. Nonetheless, I could not have wished for a better curator this year. He made everything work. He came with his ideas. He brought his network in, and I want you to please put your hands together for Lidudo Malingani. Would you like to thank him?
Hello. Sound more calm than I was 3 days before the festival. I want to say thank you to every single one of you for being here for the 3 days, for going to the panels, for coming out and looking like you're excited to have been in the panels. I want to thank the writers, whom, when every time something changed, they welcomed it. Even in the last minutes, there were changes, and writers were running around trying to help us solve the problem. This Maneo here, today was just like, you don't have to do anything, I will find someone to join this panel. And then they came to me and they were like, yeah, sorted, it's happening. And that's the kind of spirit that I've felt here. And so I want to say thank you to every single one of you. It's been an incredible 3 days. It's been packed, it's been interesting, it's given so much to think about, and thank you. And now we're going to give away R1 million worth of knowledge and wisdom. People were asked to fill out papers with their names and email addresses. So I'm just gonna pick the one that I want to win, and then we'll give them the book.
No cheating.
Take this one here. If the person is not here, what happens?
Say what they win first. So they win.
The winner is going to get Margaret Busby's New Daughters of Africa, which is signed by Margaret Busby. And also signed by Lori, who's somewhere at the back. and also Jennifer, who's also somewhere at the back. So you get this book and 3, what are they called? Autographs? Yes. Autographs for just signing a piece of paper. Yeah. And the winner is Olayide. Is Olayide here? Yes! Yeah.
No further delay. I now pass on the mic to my colleague Venice. She's going to host poetry night, so welcome to stage Venice Trommer.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Hi, I hope you've enjoyed these past days as much as I have and are ready for the last event of this year's African Book Festival, which is needed because otherwise we'll all collapse from exhaustion. But I've had a hell of a time and I hope you had too. The past 2 days or 3 days have been a lot about the written word, and now we're gonna immerse ourselves in the spoken word, in performed poetry. And I have 6 amazing poets for you tonight. I'm very happy to be able to give them the stage despite all the challenges we've faced. And I don't want to talk much longer. I would like to introduce you to my first performer for you tonight, whose name I had to try and learn to pronounce correctly, and I hope I don't mess it up. Xabiso, Vili. I'm very glad that you're here. Xabiso is an artist, a new media artist, a writer, a poet. He is also a social activist, and he's an alumnus of Electric South New Dimension Lab 5. He's the champion of several poetry slams, but there's nothing to win here tonight for you, so it's just for the fun of it, just for the fame. And he has recently won the Poetry Africa Slam Jam and will represent South Africa at the World Poetry Slam Championships in Brussels. Give a warm round of applause for Xabiso Vili.
Yes, thank you. Hey, everybody. Woo, it's good to be here. Yeah, thank you for having me. I've got 6 poems for you guys. I don't know if I'm gonna talk much. I'ma just do the poems. Is that all right? Then we can hold the applause till the end. Sometimes it slows down the flow. I just want to go with the poems. Yeah? All right, let's do it. Yeah, you can snap. Okay, yeah, let me teach y'all. Let's get the snap going. That's the rain. You know, if you appreciate, you got the rain. You got that chocolate. If something hits good, what's that? Let's hear that. Yeah. And then also sometimes you just go, oh shit. Like when it lands hard, you can just go, oh shit. And then whatever form of appreciation you can do it. And I'ma just do the poems. Black boy B trying to find himself. Turned his body into a map, into a maze made of braille with their lovers still feeling their way across his skin. Turned his heart into a treasure chest with no key and a minotaur at the entrance guarding the tip of his tongue. Black boy watches his tongue. There are bodies dying on his lips. He be a bear trap, like a Venus flytrap, like a pit he can't crawl out of. Black boy be stuck in the pit of his stomach with everyone else he loves. There are scratch marks on his insides. Every minute of living is him vomiting out his lungs. Oxygen comes to his throat to die. The people he loves turn into oxygen. Black boy be suffocating. suffocates everything. Black boy, be mirror, be so dirty you keep wiping his skin, hoping that black boy's skin smudge. Black boy, white boy hate black boy because he be everything. White skin never stays, never knows what to do when black be everywhere, be everything. White is absence of color, black be all color. Black boy be coloring book, every page look like night. Night be township, be Amistad, be cocoa plantation, be cotton plantation, be basketball court, be court, be prison cell, be caught, chained, locked up, be Akon, be won't let me out, be Wesley Snipes, be so black, we be hot every day. Black boy, soak up the heat. I call heat cops, call sun rays bullets, call black boy dying, endangered, in danger. Black boy should have a sign, warning, keep out. The skin don't keep anything in unless it be dying or trying to find itself amongst the dying. Black boy be the end of a war and a riot. If black boy be in a group of 3 or more, it be a riot. White boy is a gathering, a meeting. Black boy don't meet unless it be a killing. Then black boy eats everything like it was oxygen. Rioting be oxygen. Black boy be eating burning and bullets and flash bombs and batons and burning governments and mashed potatoes like mama's cooking with Tabasco on top. Ooh-wee. Black boy burn your tongue though. Black boy skin be coloring. Black boy skin be suicide bomb. Be a language he can't love in. Be bite marks and bruises and prison break like he's been fighting to get out. Black boy can't get out, can't escape. Like lost in a maze, black boy be trying to find himself. But once he does, this map don't look familiar. Just an X over treasure that no one be trying to keep. Black boy be stuck in the lost and found. Hey, thank you. Word, let's go into the next one. The birds are falling. This has got an instrumental. I don't know where my DJ's at. I see you. So yeah, you can go ahead and start The Birds Are Falling. Too afraid of pleasure, we inherit pain. It is lonely rite of passage to sacrifice ourselves bloody and prostrate on a funeral mountain because indoors I must. Sickeningly beautiful because of how well we bruise ourselves, each other, crows, we let feast on our wounds. In time, the worm will devour the bird. It is slow, but the bird is patient. It gives of its wings, provides its bones because indoors I must. The worm will turn dust to dust, will till the ground, unearth the early dead. We too give of our bodies, breaking and snapping because indoors I must. It is peaceful here, cracking masculinity into kindling. Watch it sizzle and burn. We know how to build a fire, how to take life, season our flesh with smoke and salt. We do not account for our sins, still making scapegoat of our fathers who left with the crows, our missing morsels swinging from their mouths. When you return, prodigal, we will sweep you a ululating path to the liquor store. Because indoors I must. You carry a thirsty pocket knife close to your heart, hungry for blood. All these blades we have for therapists. Another one of the men I love will turn to ghost in a tavern tonight because indoors I must. At the funeral, a vulture will sit beautiful on his coffin. We will rejoice in our plague. Say, he was a good man. died early enough not to twist himself into a sneering eulogy. At night, I dream of his corpse. The worms that feed on his good will feast and feast and feast until the earth is belly full, until it opens its mouth and we drip from its teeth, and all us graves will finally laugh. All right, let's go to the next one. A love poem because... Word, thank you. Y'all having a good time whilst we queue up a love poem because we're good. We're here together. All right. Sorry, guys. I write about dying black boys a lot. And then also sometimes I write about black boys that also kill. And yeah, I suppose this is then the segue into the next poem. The instrumental is a love poem because. Ain't nobody writing love poems whilst women are dying. How you gon' fit romance into a coffin? Be turning the kisses of a killer into honey. We've got a hive in our stomachs and our locust swarm hearts feast on the butterflies. My lover says she's practicing faith sleeping next to me. And what's the difference between prayer and a lover when both are a war zone? Us men call ourselves altars but turn deity to sacrifice. Aren't we tired of the blood beneath our fingernails? Facing a choir of killers in our reflections, sing bloody over the graves in our garden, turn love stories into horror. We're boogeymen, afraid of ourselves. I'm scared of raising a daughter who asks me to check beneath her bed for monsters, and I pull out her father, howling with the moon dripping from my lips, or raising a son who carries our curse, can't say his own name 3 times in a mirror. Us with I love yous bleeding from our jaws that taste like knuckles if you chew long enough, and a silence caught in our throat like accessory to murder. Ain't nobody writing love poems when we're so busy with obituaries. Dear men, there's a plague in our veins that haunts our hearts the way we love. We breathe another dead woman from our lungs, and how you gonna speak to God with that mouth? Come to prayer in a church where another woman dies in our presence again, and still we do nothing again. It's time we pull ourselves apart and build a temple from our hearts that doesn't have murderer etched into our blood. Tongues. I've always had a problem with consistency and wrapping my tongue around it. My mouth, otherwise preoccupied, could think of so many other things to do with my lips and yours. How am I meant to fit language between these teeth when God is too busy spilling out? I pray to you in obscenities, on my knees, worship a second coming, could never stay for resurrection, make Mary Magdalene of my lovers. My bed is an empty tomb. I undress but could never get naked, offer you my body and nothing else. You might find the missing organs if you scratch deep enough. Leave a map across my back to all the cavities that hold my breath. Wear my heart like a trick up my sleeve. Now you see it. Now this boy is haunting your sheets. That's what that moaning was. Learning a new language, speak in Sanskrit. My partner loves me in all my inconsistent, all my consistencies. I'm adept at endings. In the beginning, there was the word. spoke an orgasm into existence. She loves me in all the tongues I do not speak. Watch how my mouth disappears. She's got enough lips for the both of us. How she makes the hollow of her throat a home. I swing from her uvula when I trip on my words. I'm learning how to stay. She turns ghost into holy flesh. Me, a bloody disciple that preaches a gospel of bruises, adorns beaded love bites across my neck. I write her a love note in the silences. A psalm to sing into the wind to fill this empty chest. Now you see it, a pulse that beats in tune with the morning sun. She's fast asleep and I do not leave. I've always had a problem with consistency, but God is making space inside my mouth. I hold her on the inside of my cheeks, an unholy altar where I've come to sacrifice my endings. It only makes sense to start the day with morning prayer. Hey. All right, two more poems. Are we still together? You still having a good time? All right. We're with it. Can I get Black Boy Defiance? Yes, please. Cool. These next two ones about, I think they're about not dying. All right, let's do it. Walked into the ocean and the water became me. Spilled the sea into a bathtub and tried not to drown in myself. Dead friends clawed their way up my throat. My wrists, a river I drink from. I tried not to spill the Nile and its ghosts that held me in their palms. I pried my life from the grasp of a death I recognized. Took shots of whiskey from a bleeding phantom. We danced to Kendrick Lamar and all the other songs about dying black boys. Poured myself out for the homies. My umbilical wrapped itself around my throat. My mother was the fire. I do not tell her how many times I've almost died. That is between me and the ancestors. Sacrificed another heart to keep breathing. When will I stop leaking lovers from my fingernails? I have scratched myself raw trying to find the exit wounds. Dodged death so often. Where does the reaper take his tax? Another friend died this year, but this black boy stays defiant. Keep my wrists divinely attached to my arms, carve temples from my spine, mistake myself for holy with these bones made of water. I have come to myself to be baptized, a soggy scripture clinging beneath my fingernails, Sam Cooke running out my mouth. I was born a dying flood. Name a black boy who wasn't. The waters have offered me exorcisms. I'm afraid the hauntings will leave with the memories. So this black boy stays defiant, has started visiting cemeteries, tipping himself into the soil of the new asleep. Tomorrow, come collect these lilacs from these graves. You cannot take them from my mouth, because tomorrow I will not be dead yet. We have come to this place to forget how to die. My kind lose sight of life even before they go blind, so we have come to take back their eyes, suck the cocoa butter from their skin so they can grow wrinkled, teach my people how to grow old. Dear God, let my people go. Put the ocean back together again. We will walk on water instead. Give that boy back his breath. His mother has been crying for 3 days. Jesus is not the only one that deserves resurrections. We have been in line for a miracle. Dear death, are you still cashing out saviors, or does your second coming look like Red Sea wrists, like tipping chairs, like we have telescopes for chests? Look through the exit wound and you will see all that you owe us. It must be hard to remember your debts from up there. Our Father, who art in heaven, also doesn't answer calls from debt collectors, can't clean up his mess, left a serpent coiled inside our breasts. Now my kind claw at their flesh, save themselves. I have been drunk for so long because the wakes never end. The roads to the cemetery are packed from one side to the next. I will turn this procession into prayer beads from our ribs. Our dentures will be these gravestones with your 10 commandments that I will carve into teeth. Bury our tongues 6 feet deep. So when they rise, resurrection is the only language they will speak. We have come to this place to forget how to die. We're tired of holding on to these pictures for safekeeping, turning photo albums into scripture. These memories give us paper cuts on the inside of our thighs, between our arms, those places that are easy to hide until they aren't. We have turned ourselves into frayed fabric for forgotten photographs, pulled at our wrists trying to hide the scars, unraveled at the seams and picked out scenes of our demise. And the psychiatrist asks us if we've ever thought of suicide. My kind have nooses for blood and bullets for eyes, knives in their throats that show when they smile, born with buildings beneath their feet, close their eyes and learn how to fly. I'm tired, sighs the breath of my breath, and from here I will pull all the strength I have left. I'm ready to wrestle. Bring your God, bring your death, and if I lose, don't you dare lay me to rest, because my spirit is pissed, and he's fighting next. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Xabiso Vili. What a presence, right? Wow. Are you ready for a lecture? Yeah? No? Well, our next guest is an academic. Dr. Athambile Masola teaches at the Department of Historical Studies at the University of Cape Town. But tonight she's here in her capacity as a poet. And she's going to bless us with some beautiful poetry in isiXhosa, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm very much looking forward to get to that. We're getting multilingual. She has written a poetry collection called Ilifa, which is written in isiXhosa and published by Uhlanga Press in 2021 in South Africa. And we're going to hear some of her poems now. Welcome, Athambile. Doctor, come on stage.
Venice, I feel so betrayed. I'm like, a lecture though. I don't even want to hear a lecture. Hello everybody. Molweni, sanbonani, dumelang. Okay. So I'm going to be reading from Ilifa. And I'm going to read about love. And my name actually means soft. Maybe I should start there. My name means soft. So I'm going to read And I write a lot of soft things, and I write about softness. So, and I think it's just been an exercise for me to find my name, because I struggled with the meaning of my name. So that's what you're going to hear tonight. And I think I'm going to pick up where Xabiso left off, which sounded like it was a prayer. So, a very painful prayer. So I'm going to start with a prayer. This one's called Imihla ngemihla, which translates to day by day, ne? Day by day. Ish, English. The data bundles are gone also, so I don't know how much translation y'all are gonna get, so you're gonna pick up the fragments that you pick up. Imihla ngemihla. Tina imihla ngemihla. Sikhongozela amandla. Sotha kumlilo ongacimekiyo. Silungiselela apho kungenje. Tina imihla ngemihla. Siyazikhulula emakhamandeleni. Siyayihlikihla imikhwa esibopheleleyo. Silungiselela apho kungenje. Thina imihla ngemihla siyaxhenza, sikhupha ishwangusha, silungiselela apho kungenje. Thina imihla ngemihla siyazikhangela, siyazizungeza, siphikisa abo bathi asizonto. Silungiselela apho kungenje. Thina imihla ngemihla siyazibumba, silungiselela apho kungenje. So the next two are about love of a different kind. And the first one is Isfebe, which means whole. Isfebe. Ngecawa ula usiyakudumisa. Ngomvulo uyaphangela. NgoLwesibini usentlanganisweni yesikolo sabantwana. NgoLwesithathu ubukela uMzansi Magic. NgoLwesine uya emanyanweni. NgoLwesihlanu yi-nice time ne-girls. NgoMgqibelo udibana noThemba okanye uXolani okanye uSam. Okusalayo ufumana lento ayifunayo. Ngecawa ucula usiyakudumisa. Intombi ezilala emini. That's me. Girls who sleep till noon. Kukho intombi ezingqengqa emini. Ziyolelwa kukuphunga ubuthongo zizolile. Azingxami. Ezi zintombi ezingavuki neentaka. Zivuka xa kuvuma umzimba. Ziyazimamela. Sithandwa sam. Akwaba bendinokukhumbula mhla uqala ukundibiza ngalamazwi. Ndinento ethi awungandijonganga ngenxa yomjojo. Wawuveza elinye icala lakho elingabonwa nangubani. Kodwa ngokubetha kolwimi ndazibonela ukuthamba kwakho. Sithandwa sam, uyawasebeza. Hleze ilizwe likuve. Limoshe lento siyakha ngezandla ezingenabuchule. Mhlawumbi uyasebeza ngenxa yokuba siyabana mna nawe. Kodwa endikwaziyo kukho into ekhululekayo emagxeni xa usithi sithandwa sam. Mhlawumbi ndithanda lento usebeza okanye ndithanda la mazwi alula kangaka. Sithandwa sam. Isithandwa sam. Esi sisithandwa sam. Mna ndisisithandwa sakho. Sam uyandibanga. Isithandwa uyandibona. Izandla, which means hands. Izandla zakho zindikhumbuza ubuni bam. Ziyingoma endinika ukuthula, ziyandiqokelela. Xa ndikukhumbula ndicinga izandla zakho. Zona zindazi njengobusuku neenkwenkwezi. Zazi apho ndithambe khona, zazi nendawo endizifihlela kuzo. Izandla zakho zindikhumbuza amanzi omlambo onganximanga. Umlambo othuthuzelayo, umlambo osebezayo, ndize ndikwazi ukuphumla. Izandla zakho ngamehlo abukayo, ukuqala ebunzi uyophuma ngenzwane. Izandla zakho zindikhilela imfihlelo zalo mzimba wam. And then the next one is izwi elidala, and a lot of people, maybe I'll explain it. A lot of people ask me who's on the cover of this collection. This is a cover of a picture of my grandmother, a portrait of my grandmother, and it's a way of paying homage to her. Because I write a lot about other people's grandmothers, so this was an opportunity for me to write about my grandmother. So this poem is about grandmothers or elders speaking to us. Izwi elidala. Ekuqalekeni ube ekho ulizwi. Mntanam, kudala ndikubukele ukuwa nokugruzuka kwakho. Ndibukele indlela ozithengisa ngayo. Ukhangela lowo ongakuthenga ngesheleni. Ekuqalekeni ube ekho ulizwi. Mzukulwana wam, ndikujongile. Ndinomdla wokuba uyakuzibona nini ukuba uyigolide. Ekuqalekeni ube ekho ulizwi. Mfanekiso wam, ndihoye xa ndikusebezela ndisithi uphelele, awushoti nganto. Ekuqalekeni ube ekho ulizwi. This one is ikhaya lam, my home. Ndibalekela kuwe, undisonge, undondle, undihlekise, undihlambe, undithuthuzele, undambathise, undiphulule. Ubopha amanxiba am endiwafihlayo. Emva koko uthi mandihambe ndibe ngumntu ebantwini. Ndibalekela kuwe kuba ndiyathandwa nguwe. Nawe uyathandwa ndim. Ungowam, nam ndingowakho. And the last one, this is the lecture, Venice. This is history, imbali, which is what I do on my day job, but now it's in poetic form. Imbali, history. Zibhale, kodwa ungabhali esantini. Hleze uhambe namanzi olwandle. Zibhale, kodwa ungabhali emthini. Hleze bawugawule okanye bawutshise. Zibhale, kodwa ungazibhali ngamafu. Hleze abaleke nomoya okanye abe yimvula. Zibhale, kodwa ungabhali ngembola nodaka. Zona zihlambe kalula ngamanzi. Zibhale ngesiqu sakho. Abo banamehlo bakubone. Zibhale ngelizwi lakho. Abo banendlebe bakuve. Zibhale ngeenyawo zakho. Abo bafunayo bakulandele. Zibhale ngobuqu bakho. Bungaze buvuthululwe njengothuli. Thank you.
Thank you. That was quite a lecture. I can tell that there were some juicy parts in there as well, although I didn't understand a word, but I really like to know what that was about. Thank you. Now we'll move from South Africa to Namibia, where our next guest is from, but he is currently living in Stuttgart, or near Stuttgart, as a fellow at Akademie Schloss Solitude. So he hasn't had such a far way to come here, but still, Stuttgart it's far. Our next guest is Keith Black. He is a poet, a performer, a writer, and he has devoted much of his poetry or much of his work to history as well, to the genocide committed by the Germans in Namibia. So it's all the more important that you're here today educating us Germans here about our shared history with the Namibians. So thank you very much, Keith. And I want to invite you to come up on stage and share your poetry with us. Give it up for Keith Black.
Tokoza, Tokozani. Tokozani. I'm a disability queen, so this thing must be ready here, because sometimes the poetry frays me a little bit. I'm blind, so I can't see any of your faces. That's why I have glasses, but I don't want to see people's reactions. It gives me nightmares. You guys are super lucky. Hi first, how's everybody? What a beautiful gathering. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, Xabiso. The blacks are working. Shame, slaves, all of you. Could never be me. 6 poems. 3. My brand of resistance is luxury, leisure, naps, fruits, lovers, dancing. Good luck, comrades. I'm free, finally. It's 600 years. You. Prosecco, please. It's not comedy, it's poetry. Calm down, calm down. And so I wrote 2 new poems for the special girls of the African Book Festival. The last one will be a poem from my poetry anthology, 14 pieces about dead comrades from the 1904, 1907. They say it lasted 3 years, but we know it's longer than that thing. It's still today. My friends, two things. Do I look fine? And can I get a beer? Where's the beer here? Thank you, comrades. My friends are so cool. Thank you. So this is called the nod. You know this thing blacks do in the diasporic? The nod. Can someone come and adjust this thing? It's not long enough, please. Can you make the mic longer? I don't know how to. Like here, where I am. Yes. Meet me where I am. The nod. It is just, so before I start, let me tell you. So my poetry is based off historical text and factual. So you'll get those tones. So respect them, see them. It is estimated that there are 2,000 languages spoken in Africa, with as many as 3,000 different tribes communicating in them. In a country like Nigeria, there are 370 ethnic clans housed in its borders, with as many as 1,000 kingdoms recorded to have existed on the continent of Africa in a history no older than 400 years. The African continent has a land area of 30 million square kilometers that can fit the United States of America, China, India, Japan, Mexico, and many other European nations neatly into its humble borders. With as many people as the horizon is long, for as many cultures as the sea is wide and terrifying, for a people that have been stretched across every land mass on this globe, for as far as the wind can blow, for as deep as the rivers can seep into the soil. Language is but only one of the many frontiers on which we have recreated ourselves through vernacular, through dialect, through the altering of the dips and the dives of old languages, twisting them into the current ambitions and use of the people of that particular time, of that particular space, in that particular resistance. Still, you see, boys like me and you, who don't heed the word of the village, take our dusty, musty, crusty feet to the streets of men who inspire horror stories, and once again ignore the advice of your grandmother around the fire in a village that says some people don't come back. These are the villages that we have run from. Run at night, run in our minds long before we left, run to places that we have been warned some people don't leave. And now we've still gone. And here there's no language, no creed or no clan, no religion, no tribe to speak of, no one to speak to. All we have is a nod. The nod is born when one brother walks from his father's village to stumble into destiny that helps him form his own village, to add another tribe, to make up another 1,000 clans that I speak of here. He is from his father's village, though, but now has his own, from which he will have his own son, who will one day leave his father's village to find his own village in a place where his father's phallic pride and his father's phallic weaknesses don't impose on him the same thing he will impose on his son one day. So he thinks, maybe I don't need a village. I might go somewhere else where there are no villages and no fathers, and none of these things are of concern. There are no ancestors and folk tales about things burning down, and maybe tonight he won't dream about dead people. You see, here there is no language, just a head that is bent into a contorted acknowledgement of blackness that cannot be loud or proud, but must wear its clandestine robe in public and mourn its own nudity and its slavery in private. The only thing that we have left to speak in is the nod. It erases 2,000 languages and makes 3,000 tribes one. It squeezes a 30 million square kilometer continent into 30 seconds, where you can just say hi to your neighbor, your brother, your cousin. Still, it's the only language we have as we walk the streets of men that inspire horror stories around around fires in villages that we have long left, to become part of the folk tales of those that never make it back. Because no language, no tribe, no creed, no clan, just they. Not to signpost that once, before we left, we belonged to somewhere, came from somewhere. And now we're existing in a place with no language, where we can't comprehend the culture. But no matter what, at least we still have the nod. Thank you. That was for the blacks. The fun is over. The fight continues. Amandla in Europe in a Uber XL, paying out of your asshole. But you'll get there safely and you'll get back safely. Praise God. One more time. Thokozani. Thokozani. Thokoza. Kamaku girls. If you don't understand this, Google. Shazam me, Shazam. So this one is a bit of a serious concern of mine. The silence in Germany, so quiet. Very scary, quiet. I'm always like, hey man, where's the disco? I'm like, find me the techno whites. I cannot do this. Tea time whites. So I wrote a poem I wrote it over there as we were sitting here enjoying African food. It's called In the Midst of Silence. There's a downtime here, a siesta, a quiet, a long nap, a sleeping, a stoicism, a running away, a visceral. It's a quietness that is demanding and authoritarian. No ifs and no buts, no fun, no frolicking, just silence. It's a naughty child that's been caught in an act of defiance or wrongdoing that conjures corners that the implicated must sit in to realize their transgressions, their sins, that they are complicit implicitly. Have you, naughty children in the context of history, realized your transgressions in your cultish silence that in itself seems to self-cannibalize and regenerate in the same second, in the same vein? The silence is engineered. It's with purpose. It has a cause. Because how the hell can you ask a question about a murder, a rape, a stolen dignity, an occupied land, a ruined economy, a historical exploitation when there's no goddamn conversation? Just silence. No space to articulate a tortured history. No chance to get anyone to account. No way to conjure an ounce of truth and iota. All of it hidden in silence. Everything becomes the dead of night. It's all birthed by a sinister intent, so loaded, protruding its big head into the loud and ear-rupturing screams of those that don't have the luxury of being alive and silent, but are trapped in being dead and screaming. Sis, your silence is the robe that you wear where you live in your curated towns and cities, with your curated buses and your curated institutions. All of it in the name of your perverted silence and easy, cheap, and lowly way of leading a conversation that you are implicated in. Your involvement has been recorded, and therefore, as sure as the night is dead, for as sure as the fact that people are dead, and the living are here still screaming. This is beneficial silence that you claim is your historical right. Your ode to the times of the Renaissance, a time where the bourgeois commodified silence and shipped it off into both the east and the west of Germany and sold it to every one of the folk with a lifetime subscription of silence, a subscription that must be protected at all costs, even if that means that you have to break your silence to scream at a singing black person in a bath and say, "Shut up!" at any cost. And the costs are many. They are soaked in history, brutalized by the insatiable desire for more, more, more. You people always want more. By these born with those that are born without wealth under their feet. A barren and silent earth for a barren and silent people. There's a downtime here, a siesta, a quiet, a long nap, a sleeping, a stoicism, a running away. It's visceral. A quietness that is demanding and authoritative. No ifs or buts. No fun, no frolicking. Just silence. Yay! We're in trouble, colleagues. Make sure I get home safe. Yes! Says Uber X. 19 euros, colleagues. We are going to die in this thing. Jesus. Jokes, no jokes, no jokes. Kidding, not kidding. Joking, not joking. So this is the first poem I wrote. Please buy this motherfucking anthology. Sorry for the children. It's Sunday. Sorry to the children. Are the children fine? Somebody check on the children. These poor kids. Phew, what an intense. So this is the first poem I wrote for my poetry anthology called The Blood Belongs to Me. Stop spilling it. What a rubbish. The Blood Belongs to Me is my poetry anthology's name, and it's 14 poems. And this is the first thing I wrote 10 years ago when I was very drunk. As a survival mechanism, Aibo. Not because I want to. It's called But I Am Not. There's a brother of mine in the ground, man. He's cold. Before his time and mostly gone, this one, his bones are now century-old sand. This one, deader than his cousin before him, and our mothers more broken than the German mothers were about it. There's a brother of mine in the ground, huddled in forever graves, foe and friend in a century-old embrace, much without choice, perhaps by fate, but certainly still he lies now, but not for eternity, forever unnamed, next to kin in now stolen kingdoms, too dried up to give off any smoke signals. There is more quiet now as it was then. Since we spoke a strange tongue, we begged in hours, nonetheless, where more begging meant violent erasure and less meant us. And now my sisters are dead too. I know nothing of their names or how they move. She lived and left 80 years before me, left because they took her as well. Now the mount in which she lay, I'm told, was high as her cheekbones were. I had such many other sisters who are now dead too. They wore these defensively long skirts to work that were meant to keep the settler away, but that was still too close to his grip. So as he uprooted every tear of her skirt, so too he uprooted entire communities. And their brothers, their mothers, their sisters, too many a father. Our fathers died first. Their history I will not play upon for prose. Them I will remember in every bone that holds me up. Every one of their fears is now mine. Each one of the bullets that were in their guns are now in my barrel. Each declaration for redemption that they were breathing is echoed by my breath. Our fathers didn't come home, and that killed our mothers. My father didn't come home, and so another killed my sister. My brother didn't have a home, so he killed. It wasn't just my brother who was homeless. His brother looked just like him and wore the same shoe size. So he followed fate's narrow path only to end up against a fence right outside where he dreamt he once lived in another time before he killed and his father had died. And his sister was declared never to be spoken of, and his mother, shame, was dealing with generational grief. You see, each one of these people were no longer holding a weapon, but rather became one lethal and ferocious every time the moon was full, glaring into everything, speaking truth to power from his grave through his son who isn't dead, for here the I stand. Cheekbones can still be seen, mark a small but endearing triumph that see his people here. Through him, still today, my brother is dead. My father is dead. My mother is dead, my sister is dead, but I am not. I'm here, a small but loud testimony that will speak poem and pain in the name of my people whom you killed in cold blood by the sea, in our forest, right here where I stand, all of them dead. But I am not. I'm here. I've been called upon to walk as a living ghost amongst you and your people. I'm here to haunt, to remind. I'm here to reprimand you people, to reconcile mine and to heal my people, to bring to task, to take on the task, to add back the stolen and to return these people's dignity. And for you, white people, to make right with your gods as I have with mine. Thokoza. Thank you, Shem. Thank you. My ancestors are jealous, so I must just say thank you to my ancestors for bringing me here. What a beautiful transmutation. Over the Atlantic is very political, but I'm here safely. Wow, bless my ancestors. Thokoza ni haseke akikainti kore sa unware. Havu saska have khu dielo unware dielo tse kom khatere di khutse. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. That was powerful. But we won't be silent tonight. I'll get right back to the next poet. Now we have Fiston Mwanza Mujila, a poet from the Congo, from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, but living in Austria, where he teaches African literatures at the University of Graz. So another academic, but we'll get poetry again. So, and we'll continue with the multilingual setting. We'll have Fiston perform in French, in German, and in Chilunga. So welcome on stage.
Servus, allô, allô, allô. Mbote. Mbote, bozawa. Ah, kitoko na sepeli. Boni JJ, boni santé. Ah, kitoko. Ah, kaka, toza bunda. Kitoko, yomoko ye bien. Kitoko. Also, I will read 4 pieces. The first is a praise to myself, to my mother, to my genealogy, and to African musician. And I will read it in French and German. Ich habe beschlossen. Ich habe beschlossen, ich habe beschlossen, glücklich zu sein. Ich habe beschlossen, glücklich zu sein, Rumba zu tanzen bis zum Verschleiß, mir alle die Namen wiederzugeben, das alte Klimbim, das Kind von der Mine zu bleiben und das von der Eisenbahn, denn die familiäre Erinnerung führt an eine Lokomotive heim, Exil im Ei, ewige Einsamkeit. J'ai décidé d'être heureux, de danser la rumba jusqu'à l'usure, de reprendre tous mes noms, bricole d'antan, de demeurer l'enfant de la mine et du chemin de fer, la mémoire familiale, épousant la locomotive, l'exil dans l'œuf, l'éternelle solitude. J'ai décidé, j'ai décidé d'être insolent et désagréable, de cracher dans la soupe de ceux qui arrachent le don à la vie, de pisser sur leur prétendue bonne foi, de glouser en guise d'insolence et de me repentir par la suite auprès de l'esprit aîné. Combien de temps résisteront-ils? Déjà, ils ont fait de ce pays un mouroir. J'ai décidé de formuler des rêves aussi vastes, aussi colorés, aussi grandiloquents que l'espérance, de rêves somptueux, aussi baveux que la pluie tropicale, la seule éructant la malédiction est furieuse et éternelle et digne de déluge, quoi qu'on ne fera plus entrer dans l'arche le couple de tous les animaux purs, le mâle et la femelle, le mâle, 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 la femelle. J'ai décidé de demeurer l'enfant du Zaïre, de fabriquer de voitures à l'aide de bois de conserve ou de cerfs-volants à partir de sachets, d'y accrocher un long fil et de courir dans le soleil, et de courir et de courir et de courir jusqu'à ce que l'engin gagne le ciel. Lorsque le fil de raffia s'est rompé, le cerf-volant zigzagant s'est perdu dans le firmament. Il ne nous restait qu'un sentiment de regret. J'ai décidé encore de formuler de rêves. J'ai décidé encore de rêver, non pas de marcher sur la lune ou d'inventer une énième arme chimique, mais d'ouvrir une espèce de bar merveilleux et d'y bazarder. Et d'y bazarder non pas l'ivresse ou une quelconque beuverie, mais l'espérance. Ich hab beschlossen, das Ein-Mann-Orchester meines Schicksals zu sein. Ich selbst am Schlagzeug, Kenny Clark, ich selbst an der Trompette Masola. J'ai décidé j'ai décidé, 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 j'ai décidé d'être l'homme orchestre de mon destin. Moi-même, à la batterie, Kenny Clark, moi-même, à la trompette, Masola, moi-même, au piano, Tep Scott, moi-même, à la contrebasse, Mengus, moi-même, à la batterie, Gunta, Baby Soma, moi-même, au piano, Ray Lema, moi-même, au piano, Dunduzo, Makotuni, moi-même, à la Cora, Soriba, Kouyote, moi-même, à la trompette, Mario Rome, moi-même, à la batterie, Louis Molo, moi-même, au saxophone, Fela, moi-même, au saxophone, Fela, moi-même, au saxophone, Fela Kuti, moi-même, au piano, Moses, Moulele quoi, moi-même à la guitare, Nico Cassanda, moi-même à la batterie, maître batteur, Doudoum Diaye, Rose, moi-même, à la Cora, Balake, Sissoko, moi-même à la Cora, Jelly Moussa Diawara, moi-même au saxophone, Manu Dibango, moi-même au piano, Andy Le Yonana, moi-même à la guitare, Pitchens Cambilo, voix de Makeba en surplus et de Maître Moussé de l'aube à l'aube et de Fredonné pour ma mère Mananga et les étoiles, l'indépendance, tcha-tcha, l'indépendance, tcha-tcha, l'indépendance. Odiponda, tcha-tcha, tout va quitter. Au tableron, tcha-tcha, va gagner. Olipanda, tcha-tcha, tout souillé. Indépendant, tcha-tcha, tout souillé. Olipanda, tcha-tcha, tout va quitter. Welcome to Zaïre. Le Zaïre, le Congo. Le Zaïre, le Congo belge est un pays de l'Afrique tropicale. Monsieur Lumumba, monsieur Lumumba, monsieur Lumumba, Lumumba, Nakalonji, Goliathombe, Kamidotu. Et Sanga, Boutakanza, Papa, indépendance, Tcha-Tcha, Lumumba, East, Denapvel, Lumumba, Tank, Salsa, Lumumba, Ferchi, Lumumba, Astronaute, Den, Anzug, Lumumba spielt Saxophon. Lumumba liebt Reggae, Lumumba trinkt sein Bier, Lumumba im Anzug und Krawatte, Lumumba in einem Flughafen, Lumumba lacht, Lumumba lacht, Lumumba l'art vie normiche. Lumumba im afro-look. Lumumba jazz. Lumumba punk. Lumumba in Accra. Lumumba in Bruxelles. Lumumba in Kinshasa. Lumumba in Bamako. Lumumba in Porto Alegre. Lumumba in Douala. Lumumba in Saint-Pétersbourg. Lumumba in Marseille. Lumumba in Ouagadougou. Lumumba in London. Lumumba in Jamena. Lumumba in Kapstadt. Lumumba in Mir. Lumumba in Mir. Lumumba in Dir. Lumumba in You. Alléluia. Alléluia. My brother, my sister, say amen. Lumumba in you. Lumumba in you. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Amen, amen. Lumumba in you. Lumumba in you. Indépendant, cha-cha, gozoïe. Dolipanda, cha-cha, tout va guider. I read it now in French. Ville intérieure. It is about effective language, effective city. Ne dites pas que j'ai perdu la cabeza. Ce n'est pas de ma faute. C'est la faute à la ville qui grouille dans mon ventre et me fout l'épilepsie à chaque fois que je l'évoque. Ma ville à moi est une ville illégale, une ville de contrebande, une ville proscrite, un gros bidonville délabré et droit dans ses bottes. On y accueille, on y accueille, on y accueille tout le monde sans exiger le moindre visa ou la carte de vaccination. Et on envoie chier dans ma ville à moi les racistes, les xénophobes et autres égorgeurs de la pleine lune. Ils n'ont qu'à laisser défenestrer dans l'océan s'ils n'ont pas le cœur à supporter nos rires et nos odeurs, nos fêtes et nos envies de liberté, de bebop et de rumba. Un monde sans lucarne est une utopie dévastatrice. Et on sait où mènent les utopies et les supercheries de la dernière heure. Ne dites pas que j'ai perdu la cabeza. Ne dites pas que j'ai perdu la cabeza. J'ai été la cabeza faire l'oreille. Ne dites pas que j'ai perdu la cabeza. Ne dites pas que j'ai perdu la cabeza. Ma vie à moi. Ma ville à moi est une ville heureuse. Ma ville à moi est une ville cosmopolite. Ma ville à moi est à la croisée de civilisation. Ma ville à moi se situe entre l'Orient et l'Occident, l'Afrique tropicale et l'Europe centrale, l'Amérique latine et le sud du Soudan, la Bolivie et l'Afghanistan. De longues routes relient tout le quartier dans la ville à moi. Por favor, sag nicht ich hätte den Kopf verloren. Ne dites pas que j'ai perdu la cabeza. Ne dites pas que j'ai perdu la cabeza. Ne dites pas que j'ai perdu la cabeza. Ma ville à moi. Ma ville à moi est une ville heureuse. Ma ville à moi est la ville la plus peuplée au monde, mais aussi la plus charnelle et la plus fraternelle. Les gens dressent la table et mangent dehors en plein soleil. Ils ont le rire jusqu'au cou. Ne dites pas que my last poem, it is a praise to my father, to my grandma, to my all ancestor. And I don't need microphone for my ancestor. Viji mugolo wa chame, viji mugolo wa chamwena, viji mugolo wa chilele, viji mugolo wa mbende, mbende wa nkole, viji mugolo wa Mwanza, Mwanza Mujila, Mwanza wa bachibamba, mama kanyiki. Chamwena, chamwena, mama kanyiki. Chamwena, chamwena, mama kanyiki. Viji mugolo wa chame, viji mugolo wa chamwena, viji mugolo wa chilele, viji mugolo wa mbende, viji mugolo wa kole, mama kanyiki. Chamwena, chamwena, mama kanyiki. Viji mugolo wa mbende, 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 mama kanyiki. Viji mugolo wa mbende, viji mugolo wa mbende, viji mugolo wa mbende. Chile, chamwena, mama kanyiki. Viji mugolo wa mbende, 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 la 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 la.
Merci, Fiston. Thank you. I always feel like there's two different versions of you. There's one off stage, a very gentle, very quiet, very calm one. And then there is a mad force of nature once you step on a stage and have a microphone. Well, now we're moving back to South Africa and have another poet from the country of this year's focus of the festival. Our next one is Maneo Mohale, who I've already had the pleasure to speak to today on a panel, which I really enjoyed. Maneo is an editor as well, a feminist writer, a poet. They have published a poetry collection that is titled Everything is a Deathly Flower, which has won the Glenn Alushe Prize for African Poetry last year. And they perform, or they write poetry that addresses a lot of difficult issues as well. A lot of their work is centered on race, media, sexuality, and survivorship. So, Maneo, the stage is yours.
This is always my favorite part. Bringing it all the way down for the small ones. Yes. Dumelang. Lekai. Lenakite. I'm very nervous. Everything's wonderful. Everything's fine. Okay. So I'm going to read a couple from my book, and then I'm going to read some new work as well. Yeah, I'll just get into it. This is Gazania, or treasure flower. I am looking for the exit. I am looking for my stomach's voice. I am looking for Nkhono. I am looking for her twisted root. I am looking for the door above it. I am looking for her iron cross. I am looking for a Catholic shoot. I am looking for thick-ankled sky. I am looking for a railway. I am looking for his soapy arm. I am looking for a remedy. I am looking for the dream. I am looking for it soaked in snakes. I am looking for my blood's message. I am looking for my country's jaw. I am looking for the night mountain. I am looking for her flooding wounds. I am looking for answers. I am looking for my tongue again. I am looking for rancid prophecy. I am looking for revenge. I am looking for a blade now. I am looking for the words splitting my spine. I am looking for my lover's teeth. I am looking for their tongues again. I am looking for a seed. I am looking for the lizard in my name. I am looking for betrayal. I am looking for a sterile light. I am looking for the word eating my eye. I am looking for the backwards river. I am looking for my gender now. I am looking for its burial. I am looking for the dead. I am looking for the depthless pool. I am looking for Baradibaka. I am looking for their yellowed men. I am looking for my fever's birth. I am looking for Butabu Te. I am looking for blood. I am looking for burnt women. I am looking underneath me. I am looking for the way they left. I am looking for the moaning. I am looking for a sweeter shame. I am looking for the dogs and why they speak my name in Januaries. I am looking for my mother, for the mound, and its only reason. I am looking for my sugared mouth, now open again for another. This one's called Litsatsi, which means sunrise, but also means the day. In your mother's red Golf, you ask her what Benoni means. Son of my sorrow, hearing the sun, instead you turn the word over in your mind like a coin. Ghosts are living in mine dumps as your mother drives you home. Honeycomb mountains are brittle. Tomorrow, you ask her for a crunchy after school. Like all names of the Bible, Benoni sounds ancient. Out your mother's mouth, magic, menjik, magic. You are still small enough to hide inside the good book's rice paper pages. You do not know yet what you are. Have not yet had Leviticus angled at you like an ice pick. For now, the Bible is a hand drum for women draped in white and blue. Kokatlehong. In a pockmarked garage, they are women maids of clouds and ocean. They make terrifying sea-wide music. Skupu. The plastic bottom of everything that has a heart. Shells and bottle tops on ankles. How neatly old and new gods sit together. In school, you meet a man named Cecil John. And learn the word pioneer. Turn the word over in your mind like a coin. Your mother is a witness. Your mother is a pioneer, not yet knocking on doors to tell people about the good news. You wonder if Cecil was a witness too. Wonder on whose doors he knocked. For which God to spread what good news? You're so fun. You make me feel so good. Thanks. So in South Africa, we have this really strange ritual that we do called 16 Days of Activism. So I'm a survivor of sexual assault, of queer sexual assault. This book is a thread of me trying to find myself and my tongue again. And one of the ways that I reclaimed my name from the violence that was visited upon my body was giving myself names. So this is a list of 16 of my new names, and the poem is called 16 Days of Atavism, or my therapist asks me for another name besides victim. They're really cool names. It's a list poem. 1, fever vase. 2, this kneeling tongue. 3, anxious gift and unwilling offering. 4, lidza. 5, boy hiding a girl, hiding a boy under a rib. 6, mistress. 7, both liwatla and liwatle. 8, blood-blossomed archive. 9, two-hearted country. 10, Mbokoto's opposite. 11, second and last blade. 12, grandmother's unstitched scandal. 13, Zilani. 14, a sharper knife than allegedly. 15, metamor. 16, one who carries their lover in their name. Okay, last one from the book, and then it's new stuff, and a lot of it is sexy, because I want to get to that stuff now. This one is called Defelio Gray, and it's about the first time I went to a white therapist who gave me 4 words for what happened to me. The poem is a glossa, so I start with 4 lines from another poet, and these 4 lines are by my sweet love, another poet published on Uhlanga called Kopano Mwaroga. So these are their words, and then you'll hear them again in my poem. It begins, tell me where I can put you down. I've written the sky from midnight to dawn and carried you all the way till morning, and I'm tired. The poem begins. At second session, I hold a glass plate. In my hands, translucent and gold as the Chogama, ornamental as apology. Its mass reminds me of my own grief and how it is still too sharp to swallow. My first therapist is calm and white. She wears green to taunt me, so I break her plate. Barely blinking, she unwraps a parcel and offers it to me instead of anger. Sensing how taxonomy is both sanctum and shield, she gives me 4 words for what happened in the night room. Tell me where I can put you down, like this, in shards and fragments. Give me the page that will bind your sin in ink and amber. Add this to your extended list of reparations. I intend to collect everything I am owed. This scarred stomach is testimony, and this grammar is a set of relationships between structures of language at the eye level of every sentence. They will bear witness. I know what it means to be time's own shattering. I've written the sky from midnight to dawn in close pursuit of an exorcism, only to summon the smoke of my own shame. This shouldn't surprise me. I'm writing in English. In the beginning, I hand my therapist bids to protect you and handfuls of my own teeth. You knew not what you did. You were led by the wrist across a border. You were jealous of the man sleeping in my heart's watchtower, and I deceived you and carried you all the way till morning into the night room with the poison candy floss of my charm. Of course it was my fault. My therapist watches me break myself with the same calm. I am less fragile than her gold water plate, but I break with the same spectacular sound. I am made of something more precious than glass. I am looking for words now, and I'm tired. Okay. This is called Midheaven or Paternoster. Let a good story begin with palms, double thundered in meeting, double folded in twin greeting again. Let the buds whisper, here again, here again. Give me lilt and lyre, call ear to attention, soft fur and fire buzz, creatures of the sparked air. As the eldergreer bows, agree now. In bronze grass, agree now that you were human. Unrelenting, unribboning song was song that brought me to him. In this lifetime, Orpheus finds me velvet-backed, nestled near a narrow haunt, sunned by red light, having remade myself. Boy, neon, unthroated. There's he, shadowy stood, little Orpheus, all a sniff, lireless. We look good in cosmic time. Graphed, we'd be spots of starlight storming, connected in Cassandra red conspiracy thread, all constellation-like. On Wiki's authority, muses carried his strings to heaven, placed his lyre in dappled blacklessness, star ash across a field of violets, exactly 2 forevers ago. He tells me, finally, to hush. Just pucker your lips, honey, just pray. Okay. Heels in the moss then, in greeting. My matter, who is mid-heaven, handful of thy mane, thy shore denied, thy quantum-eyed, on earth as exiled from heaven. Teach us to crave our daily bread. Forgive us our sin as we forget those who sin against us. Steer us not out of temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. The next one's kind of sexy. It's called Beg. Sistina for a dom. Okay. Once ago, I swallowed a blood blossom and inked myself a love, dipped in revelry. Everywhere we puffed like owls, brick-backed as this new song of myself, unharmonied and honeyed as the past. If I gave it to you, where would you tuck my tongue? From the maybe vista of your pocket, teach it to say yes. Twice, teach it doubly to say, please, yes. Ignore my shyness. This dance is double blossom spun. Does shame govern me? Yes. Send your tongue to me, regardless, to be a poem. There, let hunger be tethered as an anchor, passed between the triptych shadows of myself, three-paned and bright. Let me sing myself tongued into your mouth. Let every song say yes to you. Soaked as I am in the past, I've been known to ride a blossom into blood blooming, yet every there in the nation of my mind, the ray of your tongue forges me open, pens me anew. Tongued in a new language, blood beats itself bruised, rushing to you, delicious as wine. Words shed their skins quickly when you talk. When you say yes, cities of doubt crumble into blossoms. Love light. I'm trying to talk to you, but the past is a gag, slick with sometimes silence, passed down, hereditary. History sucks as a segue. Is not the corridor of blossoms we were promised in school, consoling ourselves with white pages and lunch boxes sealed in promise. Yes, our mothers will never know us like this. There is no country safe enough for this word. There could never be. Who could ever defend the border of the past? Please, let me be a river of yes, a prayer in black tongue, an ocean of myself, a many-bladed blossom. Make me a tongue. Show me myself, flesh-gated by teeth and promises bright as blood. Okay. I really like reading this last one, I think, as a prayer, I suppose. It's called The Night Room. It begins with an epigraph by an incredible Canadian poet who also is a sweet love of mine called Kelsey Savage. And the quote is, "Tell me about the femme with the upended gender, the one on the edge of a trigger." The poem begins. This night asks her to leave, and now she does. This night, she wears a shirt and becomes another. This night, she eats a mango and forgets. This night, she joins a chorus and feels uneasy. This night, she finds a bridge and writes, "Me too." This night, she eats their curry and hides their clothes. This night is doused in beer and then in gin. This night, she freezes up and lets them rage. This night, she kisses them and sleeps unnightmared. This night, she doubts decision and builds a box. This night, she watches curiosity kill a cool cat. This night, she joins the women refusing to dance. This night, she reaches nakedly, revels at sound. This night, she leaves the current that spits her out. This night, the room is empty and made of nectar. This night is withered blossom now, is open. Gallo.
Give another round of applause for Maneo Mohale. We are nearing the end of the event, but not quite. Are you still in the mood for one more performer? Yeah? Okay, you're still awake? Yes! Okay, You are. You've been a wonderful audience the entire weekend. So great. Coming. Just a second. Are you ready for more technical hiccups? Good. There may be others. We'll find out. Okay, but our next guest on the stage is Goitseone Montsho, who is a South African based in Berlin. So she's the connection between the two, between all of us, basically. And she's a poet as well as everybody except me on the stage, a storyteller, performance artist, and has her work has been staged in Brussels, in Berlin, throughout Berlin, in Basel. She's also the co-host of the Tanti Table podcast, and she will first start with a video performance, and then she'll be on the stage as well. Enjoy.
Pula, pula, ge o kanela mme, o mmotse gore re mo gopotse. Pula, pula, ge o kanela mme, o mmotse gore re a mo rata. Pula, pula, ge o kanela mme, o mmotse gore re a mo tshwarela. Letsatsi, letsatsi, ge o ka tlhabela mme, o mmotse gore re a mo rata. Letsatsi, letsatsi, ge o ka tlhabela mme, o mmotse gore re kopa mohao. Letsatsi, letsatsi, ge o ka tlhabela mme, o mmotse gore re mo gopotse. Phefo, phefo, ge o ka fokela mme, o mmotse gore re a mo rata. Phefo, phefo, ge o ka fokela mme, o mmotse gore re a mo tshwarela. Phefo, phefo, ge o ka fokela mme, o mmotse gore re a mo gopola. Lefatshe, lefatshe, ge o ka tikologela mme, o mmotse gore re sa mo letile. Lefatshe, lefatshe, ge o ka tikologela mme, o mmotse gore re mo tshwaretse. Lefatshe, lefatshe, ge o ka tikologela mme, o mmotse gore re sa mo rata. Monsters rule the earth. Take, 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 my children, monsters rule the earth. Take, 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 stolen land, stolen labor, stolen futures, stolen, turn and return, turn and return, turn and return.
stepping on cowrie shells. Walking on cowrie shells. I love talking in book titles. Nanankweti. Nice. So, I think this means that we've reached the end of the night, the end of the festival. Oh, yes. There will be a next time. Promise. I also want to extend my gratitude to everybody involved, to this venue for having us, to people working tirelessly, volunteers, all the writers who participated, who bestowed their wisdom on us. And I also, last but not least, want to thank the audience, because without you, there would be all. You've been great, despite works and venues, and I really, of words, and I'll leave you into the night. Thank you.
Last, now everybody go to breakfast. You go bow for the result.